did you go about putting together this document? World leaders have enough trouble agreeing on anything after the summit. How did you go about the nuts and bolts of doing this?
Well, the 21 people here are young people, and I think they're the ones that realize that it's not just about how the economy functions or just about how financial instruments and banks function. So what we're experiencing right now are issues that have been on the foreground for many years. We have issues such as climate change, we have issues such as eradicating poverty, or at least reducing that. So what you've seen here is young people who are acting on these issues, because all of us in our own right are social activists or environmental activists or education activists. So we know the issues which are important to us as young people. So it's taking how would the financial crisis impact that? However, at the same time is how would these things be impacted by the crisis? So we're looking at really like a room for growth and opportunity within the crisis. And I think that what our thinking was, if world leaders can actually use the crisis and whilst trying to reform that, also look at the resources, the infrastructure, the climate change problems we're facing, as well as regulation of the financial systems. And in that, if you can look at it bilaterally, then you can have a more effective system in the future, yet at the same time look at a sustainability model that can enhance all of those.
I wonder, are you and your fellow, should we say, junior G20 members, are you part of a kind of youthful elite? I mean, your friends back home in South Africa, regular friends.
Yes.
Do they share your interests, or are the people in this room, are they, okay, very special, very committed, but are you in the minority amongst young people generally?
One thing that you don't want to create is, you don't want to create a group of young people that just travel to these meetings and meet with important people and then go back to their home countries and nothing happens. And one thing I can say about this group is that it's not just about meeting Gordon Brown or Neil Kinnock or other important figures within leadership, but how do you interact with them and how do you use them to actually have social change in South Africa, in Brazil, in Mexico, and in any other country. So I think that right now it's not about a group of elite people. However, you have normal people, you have normal young kids who go to university, who hang out with their friends, and you're finding interest and commonality in that. And I say that as a young South African, I'm not just representing myself, I'm representing the views of other young people. Coming here, I had recommendations from them on what they would like to see world leaders act upon within the G20 meeting. So I don't doubt for 1 second that we are, in fact, one of many other young forces out there.
You know, a lot of people around the world can be quite cynical about politics. They may be quite cynical about the G20 coming up. You think, oh, it's another summit, a lot of hot air. You're a young person, the people around here. Is cynicism a problem amongst young people?
You know, when it comes to cynicism, I think people always have negative connotations to it. However, what I support is realism. Because we are young, we are idealistic, we are quite optimistic in a good way as well. However, at the same time, we have to be very real in the issues that we want covered. So I think going into the G20 meeting, it's not just about being idealistic, but being realistic. The objectives that we've set for our leaders, objectives that we know are achievable. It's not something far-fetched. It's something that they should have been working on in the first place. So I think that, you know, we shouldn't really pay attention to the cynicism that we as young people encounter in trying to solve the issues that we see important. However, to try and prevail through those and get to meet what we'd like to see happen, in fact.